I watched as Ida tipped the contents of the bag onto the kitchen table, patting and sweeping the mound of lentils outwards with the blade of her palm towards the edges of the patterned oilcloth. "That's how you see if there are any stones in them," Ida explained, and I blushed, wondering whether she was judging me for not knowing. 7 months pregnant, I'd flown to Rome in the middle of an almost biblical heatwave to give birth to my first child. Avi and I had been living in Jerusalem, and the plan was that I would go ahead to find a hospital in Italy, and he would join me in time for the birth. His mother, Ida, and I hardly knew each other at this point, and a part of me wondered how we were going to get along for the next 2 months without Avi acting as glue. Lentils were a winter dish, eaten all over Italy on New Year as an augur of good fortune due to their resemblance to tiny coins, so it seemed strange that we should be preparing them in August. Besides, it was too hot to eat. My rib cage ached, and I was finding it increasingly hard to breathe as the baby grew and pressed against my lungs. Perhaps Ida thought lentils would be nourishing for her grandchild, or else she had a craving for them herself. Later, as I got to know her better, I would discover that years of living alone with nobody to think of but herself meant she would indulge the desire for a dish she hadn't eaten since childhood, or a sudden compulsion to clean the slats of the Venetian blinds in the bathroom at 6 a.m, or fresh bedsheets every day, simply because she enjoyed the sensuousness of ironed cotton against her skin. That first morning, I remember Ida and I walked to the covered market in Via Catania, extra early, in order to avoid the heat, and returned with a waxed paper bag full of Castelluccio di Noccia lentils, which are grown on a plateau on the Sibylline Mountains in Umbria. To this day, I can picture Ida's hands, small, plump and almost unlined, with little fingers that curved inwards so that they resembled scoops, the of satisfaction that escaped her when the last lentil had been swept into the bag. We sat for a while in silence, listening to the sounds of the courtyard floating in through the kitchen window, pots banging in sinks, the screech of washing lines being pulled in, the thump of plates on tablecloths. I felt the baby flip and turn, and wondered if this was going to be my life now, shopping and cooking, mornings spent sifting through lentils. Then, Ida reached into the pocket of her housecoat. "Take this," she said, pressing a plain gold band into my hand. "For the hospital."